Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're calling from. It's great to see you coming into the call just here. My name's Mike. I'm one of the co-founders here at Waybook, and it is a real pleasure to see you joining us for today's product updates, looking at January 2023. I hope you've had an amazing start to the year, that you're still staying true to those resolutions. I know it's around this time that most of them statistically get broken, so we can stay strong. And I'm excited to see many of you here. Makes me think that you're focused on continuing to systematize, to scale your businesses, to organize your knowledge, and I'm excited that Waybook can be a part of that. So let's kick off this webinar as we usually do. It would be great to see where you are, what you're doing, who you are. So please do feel free to say hello in the chat. Throughout the session, we're going to be speaking on the chat in the Q&A. We have the fantastic Elle from Waybook who's in the background, who will be answering your questions as we go through the session. But as I mentioned, I'm Mike. I'm going to be your host for today. I'm currently calling from beautiful Cape Town in South Africa. I am usually in London, as many of you know, but many of you will also know that London is not the best weather in January, February, so I've flown the nest to get some beautiful winter sun. But let's jump on with today's webinar. I'm so excited to kick off the year sharing with you what we've been up to, what we're doing, and as always, giving you a bit of a hint into what we've got coming up next. In today's session, what we will cover is our fundamental review, a quick snapshot about the top 22 features that we did in 2022. And that is just because I like saying 2022. And we are just going to give you a quick view. Many of these have come up on these sessions before, but I know sometimes a few of the interesting ones slip through. Then we're going to go on to our three top features that we've been focusing on this month. Firstly, we have our document importer. We secondly then have an updated step menu. And third and finally is probably the feature that I am personally most excited about of all of the features in the last year. I'm going to say, and probably for the next year as well, although I suspect that's not going to be true. It is introducing to you Waybook AI. So this is a phenomenal AI document writer, which we've already got in the hands of some Waybook users who are mind blown. And I feel like a child again when I'm talking about this feature, just because it's just, I'll show you in a minute. I don't want to ruin it. And then finally, we'll have a quick look at what's up next. But firstly, let's take a quick look at that top 2020, top 22 in 2022. I've obviously written this as a bit of a tongue twister, and I'm tripping myself already. So I'm not going to go into these in too much detail, but just to give you a bit of a reminder about what has come and obviously currently is still within your Waybook account. So advanced reports came out towards the end of the year. We've got document due dates, which are now toggled onto everybody's account quite recently. This is something that's going to continue to develop over this year. You've got your Word document importer, which we're talking about today. Linkbook, which is the phenomenal tool that sits outside of Waybook but helps you organize your external knowledge. Free tool, and do check it out. We've got revision history came in this year. Email notifications had a massive enhancement. The template library has continued to grow. You've got feature tutorials across this internet. You've got Waybook consultants that are helping you and other Waybook users build out your Waybook. We've got advanced embed options. Almost every single week, new embed options are joining Waybook, which is similar to the integrations, now with thousands of integrations connecting your Waybook to other tools. We had the magic link logins. We had document verification, so you can create one person in the team that's responsible to review and confirm that that piece of knowledge is up to date. We've also had slash commands for those old dab hands of you that remember previously editing Waybook before there were slash commands in. Now, instead of clicking menus, choosing things, you just slash, you choose file, you choose whatever you want to put into your Waybook as you're editing. We've got deep links to have a deeper interconnectivity between your Waybook documents, reference documents for those are the ones that you don't want people to have almost merchandise for them on their dashboard. categories to give you that additional layer of organization, audit logs to help you with compliance, the manager permission, which then also unlocks the content review process. So now somebody in your team can make a change, ask somebody else to review it, look at the version history. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge management has never been so good. And then also we put in the structure builder for our new friends joining Waybook to be able to get a bit of a sense about what sort of content they can have in their Waybook. So that was last year. That was all just a few months ago. And there's so much more happening. So let's dive into the 3 things I'm going to share with you in January 2023. So firstly, we've got our Word document importer. Now, this came onto our radar because we know that improving the speed and ease of inputting your knowledge into your Waybook is critically important. We know that sometimes the knowledge is in your head, knowledge is on paper, knowledge is in our team's minds, but quite often it exists in a document in some form, be it a Word document, a Google Drive, a Dropbox, whatever that is. So what we're able to do now within Waybook is to just easily transfer any of your Word documents into a Waybook document. Word to Waybook. Let's think old to new. That's more to kind of keep me organized and structured here. Need a Waybook for this. So really what the Waybook documents enables you to do, the Word importer enables you to just upload a Word file. It will pull out that content, put it into your Waybook. And that actually is already available on all of your accounts. So you just have to select that Word doc, upload it, and then it will go in. So let me just jump into a Waybook document now so you can have a real quick view at what that looks like. And for that, I'll just jump into my trusty demo account here. Now, of course, what you can do is we can actually go into an existing document. We do need to be on edit mode first. So once we go into edit mode, we can go into any subject and either go into an existing document, but for the sake of keeping something new and fresh, let's create a new document. So we'll create a new document here. And then jumping into that document, you'll be able to see that we have an import option there. Now, the import option, we do have the Tango importer, which has previously been released. If you don't know what the Tango importer is, check it out. It's mind-blowing. But we also now have the Word document importer. Now, I don't have many Word documents, mainly because everything is already on Waybook. But if I was to go and upload this Word document, which I've just pulled together here, you can see that instantly that will pull all of that knowledge out and it will put it into one of our steps within our Waybook. Now, what this enables us to do is to decide how much, where and when we want to actually separate out this information. Now, of course, it puts it all in one because we now need to decide how we chunk this information down and share it with our team. So we can see here on this document, we've got a lot of different stuff. We've got both marketing processes, we've got recruitment processes. So what you can do is you can start to chop this up. So if you click on this 3 or 6 menu dot here, you can just split this step and you'll see that actually this will now split into recruitment. And this one here we can say is marketing. Now we've got these as steps here. Obviously, this is one document that we might not want together. So what we can simply do is to create, or let's say we duplicate this document, and we want to separate out the marketing and recruitment. So on the new document, we might want to make this the marketing one, and we'll just delete out those steps. So we know that we've only got that information that's been split on there. And then let's say we want to rename this document as recruitment, and let's just delete out those marketing steps. So now on the recruitment side, you can see that we've got a pretty good process here. We've got the job offering process, we've got how we kind of make the offers, the different bits in there. And then in marketing, we've got some social media process and we've got the legal do's and don'ts. Now, it's entirely up to you what you want to do from this marketing perspective. We can either have this social media process as one step within a Waybook, or of course, you can then create the social media process at the document level and create each individual one of these as an individual step. And that's useful if you want to add more images, text, videos, links, and all sorts. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this step. I'm just going to have it set as 2. We always recommend that when you're creating your documents, keep it as simple as possible, because things can always be moved, dragged and dropped and expanded about. So let's say Instagram do's and don'ts. And now this is essentially what we do and don't do for our Instagram. This is obviously for a legal practice, as it said there. And then we'll also say that this is the social media marketing process. And that's essentially it. So that is it. We've uploaded that document. You've decided where it goes. With a couple of splits of steps, you can create it. Now, remember, part of the art of creating a great structure of your Waybook is deciding at what level you put your different pieces of information. For now, this might be perfect for us to have a document which is marketing, then we have a social media process, paid marketing process, if it's a very small team and a very small business. But typically what we might want to do is we would almost want to have marketing at the, as you can see here, a marketing handbook level. So we might then say, okay, look, we're going to create the marketing handbook. And then in the marketing handbook, if I just duplicate this, in the marketing handbook, what we're going to have is social media, and then this becomes one document or one SOP, social media, within the marketing handbook. And then also we've got the kind of Instagram do's or don'ts within that as well. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of how you can import your Word docs and how you can play around and kind of structure and amend your Waybook. The crucial thing to remember here is that it's very easy to drag and drop and very easy to move around. Keep things as simple as possible as you can to start with, and then actually expand them out as and when you need to for your business. So let's move on to number 2. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will already know that I've showed you what number 2 is already on that last little clip. And this is basically our updated step menu. So there's a screenshot of it here. Now, previously, when you're creating documents, we have lots of options. We've obviously added a lot more features to Waybook, and some of these are kind of hidden in buttons and below the folds. So what we've done here is, in order to make it easier for you to create your documents, and of course to optimize the editing and make it just much easier and more simple for you and your team to constantly stay on top of your document, we've just done a small refresh of the step menu, which will enable you to see the content and see the options that you need when you need it. And this is already rolled out in your account. So what I'm going to do is just show you briefly what those changes are. The eagle-eyed amongst you will always know and already see that this is on your account. And hopefully, if you haven't noticed it, that's probably a good sign for us. So let me just jump in here. So when we create a new document, as you saw earlier, instead of going up to any of the lists here, we'll just put a new document in here, which really does test my live typing ability. You'll notice that you're already into a step, so you can just start naming that step. Let's say it's step 1. In my documents, they normally start out with step 1 is normally purpose and background. I always like to explain what the purpose of this document is, why it's important, what they're going to learn. Now we can choose whether or not we add a second step. Of course, you can start typing that background, that purpose, whatever that is. Now we can choose whether or not we want to add a step or add a test. If we add a test, we can put that information immediately in. If we add a step, we click the add step. And then of course we can do step 1 within that. But you'll notice that if you hover over add new step, you can also do your advanced options. So you want to come here when you add new piece of information, but that can also be the inviting collaborators to say, hey Rodney on the call here, can you just jump in and complete this document? Or if you want to hit our template library, if you want to import a document, or if you want to do the AI writer, use the AI writer, which I'm not going to click on now because I am going to click on that very, very soon. So that's your kind of refresh on your step menu, and I'm really excited to get your thoughts and feedback on that. We've seen actually with lots of people using it already, it seems to actually make it much easier and faster for people to see everything they can do within your Waybook edit. So finally, and you might have realized by now, I'm a little bit excited to share this with you all. But the third and final thing I'm going to share that is out and has been released this month is Waybook AI. Now, the reason why we decided to work on this, many of you, I'm sure, are already aware with the massive advances in technology when it comes to artificial intelligence, copywriting, document writing, training models, things like that. But we are always focused on increasing the ease of creation of single centralized knowledge. Now, some of that, as we've said before, lives in our heads, lives in our minds, but sometimes we're just trying to find new processes and new systems, new ways of doing things that we haven't yet figured out. So what we are doing here is we're also trying to increase the ease of that best practice. I know one of my friends has an amazing process or an amazing document that shares, how to do security within their chocolate factory, or a really great policy on anti-discrimination for their business. But sometimes I can't always access that. Sometimes it doesn't quite work for me. So we are trying to use artificial intelligence to increase the ease of best practice for you and other similar businesses. Now, we also want to avoid that issue of staring at blank documents. We know having a Waybook is absolute nirvana. When you've got all your knowledge together, it is an amazing thing for you to be able to say, yeah, this is the operations manual, this is the SOPs, this is the playbook, and your business lives within your Waybook. But sometimes when we create that document and we're just staring at a blank screen, it's really hard for us to start actually creating. So our ambition for the Waybook AI tool is to really become your personalized consultant to actually create the best practice within your business. And as it continues to develop, grow, and learn, it will become stronger and stronger within that. It's already really very good. But at absolute minimum, it will mean that you have a basis of information for you to then be able to develop and enhance that content. This will all make more sense when I show it to you. So what is it? What actually is it? It's an AI writing tool. It basically enables you to add in various different prompts, documents, descriptions that you're looking for, and it will automatically, instantly write a custom document for you and your business, pulling in on the relevant best practices and the relevant structures for you and for your business. Now, how do you do that? It is released, but it's only available in beta at the moment. It's going to be rolling out to everybody's account very, very soon. Anytime I've whispered this, mentioned this, everyone's like, put me on the beta. So if you're on this call being like, put me on the beta, please do message Elle in the chat now, or message in, and we'll definitely get you on the beta, and you'll have that in your account instantly. So let me show you it. Let me show you what it can do, which I'm very excited about. Now, once again, I have half showed people this because it is available in some of the tools that I've kind of shown already on this release. So let me just jump into this new document, and I will just delete out these examples here. So let's say we're doing this Waybook AI example. So we've got a document, and I'm trying to create a bit of information. I don't quite know what to do. I don't know where to start. Yes, we can look at templates. The templates are a great place to start for all this information, but why not have an artificially intelligent consultant in your hand? So what you do is you click on that AI writer here. So I just do that again so you can see, new step, AI writer. And then you've got some options. It's super simple. It's super stripped back. The big caveat here is that these will continue to change and grow as our model learns and adapts. But there's 4 different types of options you can create with Waybook AI. One of them is a document. Now, this is a very broad, general document that can be used for multiple uses. We recommend using this option if one of the other options doesn't fit. But if you are looking for either an internal document, an SOP, or an SOP outline, then please do use the other ones. The other options, as I mentioned there, are an internal document. So this could be a policy, this could be a piece of knowledge, a piece of information. The third option here is a standard operating procedure. So this is an SOP for you to have a specific procedure that you're looking to share. And then the final option is an outline of an SOP document. So this is basically where you can say, look, I don't quite want you to tell me exactly what to do, but I want you to inspire me with the outline and the structure. So for the sake of this, just to just to kind of get examples and show you actually what it's capable of, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for it to create an SOP, so a standard operating procedure, and let's say we're going to want it to do a SOP about security procedures. Let's say describing. Now, when you have this section here which says describing, we basically want to give as much information to the AI as possible. So this is about the title, and we can be a bit descriptive within here, but I'm going to keep it vague just so you can see what it can achieve. So we're writing an SOP about security procedures, but we want to say describing the core steps employees should take to ensure shop security. Now, that is relatively broad, right? We've not really told this system, we're not told Waybook what business we are, what we're looking to do. So it's really broad and really vague. And let's say we're doing it for a chocolate shop, Okay, so once you've put that, and as I'd recommend, put in as much information as you possibly can. So if you're a marketing agency, say a marketing agency specializing in whatever you focus on, if you're a plumber, say a plumber within New Jersey, wherever that may be. Shout out to Michael, who's runs an amazing plumbing company in New Jersey, who I had the pleasure of meeting this week. So then you click generate, and the artificial intelligence is doing the amazing work in the background to kind of pull all of this. And what you'll see here is just the high level perspective of that SOP. Now, remember, this is continuing to get smart, but what you see it will have here is lock the doors and shutters at night. All doors and shutters should be locked at night. Monitor foot traffic, secure valuables, install the alarm system, ensure cameras are working, monitor exits and entrances, change the security code. So this is a great example where actually it's created some well-known best practices of how to secure your chocolate shop. Now, of course, some of these are relevant for other businesses as well, but it specifically knows that we're in a shop. It specifically knows that there's random security procedures. So what you can do here is you can then just add that into a document. And of course, we can just tinker and tailor. So we say, okay, this is pretty good. This might be less relevant, so I'm going to take that out. And you know what? Similar to the upload, we're going to just split that into another step. We're going to change this into alarm system. And literally like that, you can build out your knowledge and processes. Now, I'm going to jump back into that again and just show you, interestingly, exactly the same prompt, but asking for something different. So I'm going to look for the outline of an SOP document for security procedures, describing the core steps somebody should take for shop security for a chocolate shop. And let's see what that does. So now we've asked it for the outline of an SOP document rather than the SOP document itself. And what you can see here is it basically creates what would be the structure within our navigation. So if I add that into a document, so we can just play around with it a little bit, we can say, okay, well, look, we've got the introduction, the overview of shop protocols, employee duties, access control policy and procedures. Now here, what we can literally do is we can now start to create the documents. We can say, yeah, of course, we want an overview of security. So this is almost our document plan. So security procedures. And then we might say, okay, well, we've got the employee duties, and we can choose whether we want that to be a separate step or whether we want that to be an individual document itself. Many people here would have employee duties up here as a document, and then you'd have access control, policy and procedures, security checks as individual steps. But so we've got our outline, we can see what's relevant. That's your inspiration on what you need to do for your chocolate shop. Now we can say, okay, let's do a document looking at employee duties to ensure access control of the chocolate shop. And you put it back through the AI writer and then ask for it to create you an SOP or an internal document, and it will create that for you relevant to your business. Now let's just do one more example so you can be confident that we're not just creating documents for chocolate shops, but let's do another outline for a document. how to create engaging Instagram posts. So we can say how to create engaging social media posts for, let's say, an insurance company, because that is probably something that is quite hard to do. So let's create an outline for that document. This is if we literally run an insurance company without a marketing department, or we don't know whether or not we should create a marketing department. We want to create some processes and systematize the area before we bring someone in. This is what that person should do as their process. So we say, okay, let's share an overview of the company. Let's create the goal of creating the engaging Instagram posts, which is great. Yeah, of course. Do we want to sell? Do we want to brand marketing? Now we identify our target market by determining who the company's target demographic is, what it appeals to the demographic, how we create those posts, and then we look at visuals, we look at captions, we look at hashtags. So this, remember, is the outline. So if you're trying to create a social media strategy and you think, what do I do? What do I include? Put this in here. How do you create engaging posts? And then you can create the individual either internal documents or the procedures for choosing images, creating hashtags, things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this will change the world. I'm so incredibly excited about all of the amazing enhancements and advancements with artificial intelligence, and I cannot be more happy to make sure that this gets into all of your accounts as soon as possible. I have no doubt that people have loads of questions about this, and I can also see that Elle is tapping away in the background, answering some of your questions. So thank you so much for your questions, and also for Elle, the amazing Elle. But what I'm going to do is we're going to be continuing to get this feature out over the next week or so, and we're going to do a full-scale release and real strong exploration in the next few weeks about Waybook and AI and how we can really capitalize on that within your businesses. So please do let us know if you'd like to join that webinar. It will be much more interactive. We'll work with it on your businesses, and we can really build something amazing together there. But for now, that's my kind of overarching introduction for Waybook AI. I have to remind myself this isn't a Waybook AI webinar. It is a pure product webinar. So what's next? I always like to tease you a little bit about what's coming next. Sometimes, by the way, I do get in trouble because I often share too much because, you know, we're working through things as fast as we can. But let's see what we've got going. We actually have document permissions upcoming soon. This is so exciting. It feels like a small thing that is a change, but it will have a massive impact. It will actually enable you to enable permissions on a document basis rather than on a subject basis. Those of you who have a strong understanding of Waybook permissions, I'm sure will be excited about that. Next up, we have learning flows. Learning flows gives you the ability to create a specific pathway for any of your team or any of your groups of your team through the building journey. So one will be you sharing all of the information with them on day one. You will be able to say complete this, then complete this, then complete this, then complete this, and that will differ for each individual role within the organization. We soon have coming up, these are coming up very, very soon, in weeks, not months, definitely not years, but we will be in document commenting. We'll also then be having an improved dashboard and so much more. So with that, I'd just like to thank you all once again for joining us. This has definitely been a longer webinar than usual, but that is just because I am way too excited to keep this to any normal time. So thank you so much for all of your time. Fantastic questions. I really do wish you an amazing start to 2023, and I cannot wait to keep working with you and the amazing team here at Waybook to help you get your business on the same page and enjoy some smooth scaling long through 2023 and beyond. If there's anything we can do to help, please always do get in touch with myself, Elle, and the team, and please do keep all of your thoughts, questions, requests coming, because we truly love speaking to you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day, and I look forward to seeing you at the next product update here at Webinar. Happy New Year, and see you soon. Bye-bye.